Good evening everyone and welcome to Match Centre Live for our second stream of the 2021 season. Our first stream went really well, so thank you everyone who tuned in for that one. That was Fulham against Arsenal, the first game of the season. And we reached our goal on that stream, or almost reached our goal of 100 subscribers. And I thank everyone who subscribed before this stream has started today, as we want to grow this channel into more of an interactive and social way to watch football, which reminds me to tell you, if you've got any questions about the stream, about the channel, or about the game as it is about to kick off in a couple of minutes, make sure to put it in the live chat and I will get to you as soon as possible. But this time round is Brighton against Chelsea, and it's an interesting one because these teams played each other just a few weeks ago in a game which might go down as pretty historic. Because it's the first game for Premier League sides where there's been crowds in the stadium. That one finished in a 1-1 draw, just like the game which was played last time here in the Premier League between Brighton and Chelsea, which also finished 1-1. Unfortunately, we're unable to show the game due to copyright reasons, which is why, for people who aren't able to watch the game on TV, we want to do this to try and make it as social and interactive as possible in the live chat. But we're going to take you through the lineups now for both sides, starting off with Brighton. In goal is Ryan. It looks like a back three of White, Dunk and Webster, with Basuma and Alzate in the middle. Lamptey on the right, March on the left. In a sort of cam role, it looks like it's going to be Adam Lallana. And then the two players up front, Mope and Trossard. And then for Chelsea, Kepa Arrizabalaga starts in goal. A back four of James, Zuma, Christensen and Alonso. The midfield three is Loftus-Cheek, Kante and Jorginho. On the left, it's Mount. On the right, it looks to be Havertz. And up front, Timo Werner. Of course, Havertz and Werner making their debuts. Unlike Chilwell and Ziyech, who are not in the side today. We're about a few seconds away from kickoff here at the Amex for the first game of the Premier League season for both these sides. And it's going to be Brighton to get us underway with Trossard in just a few seconds' time. At the bottom of your screen, you can see all the results from match day 1. And in a few seconds, it will be Trossard for Brighton to get us underway for the first kick of the season for both these sides. And but first, of course, all the players to take a knee for the Black Lives Matter movement. And just to remind you again, if you've got any questions about the game as it's happening, or about the stream, or about the channel, make sure to put it in the live chat. But it is Trossard to get us underway for Brighton as they ping it straight out to the right-hand side, looking for Lamptey. He tries to win it in play, and then it's Basuma who picks it up for Brighton in the middle of the pitch, but he's unable to keep it for long, and Alonso picks it up for Chelsea. And then it's going backwards and forwards in the air for both sides, as it's Zuma trying to win out the ball for Chelsea, but Asuma's able to pick it up for Brighton and they'll keep the ball here, this time with White. This is Lamptey down the right for Brighton as they look to move it into the Chelsea half. Zuma intercepts the pass and heads it out for a throw down the right-hand side for Brighton. And unfortunately, to all you guys in the chat saying to show the game, I can't for copyright reasons, which is why I try to do these streams, just to get you involved as much as possible through the live chat. So Brighton have a throw down the right-hand side, and it's going to be Lamptey to take. Of course, it's going to be interesting to see how Lallana plays on his Brighton debut. I'm sure he'll get a long run of games, which he wasn't able to get so much for Liverpool. There goes the throw, and Zuma intercepts, and then Mount's trying to pick it up down the left, but Bissouma did well to pick it up for Brighton, and then play it back for Dunk. So it's Brighton with the early bit of possession, as we're a minute, or just over a minute into the game, as Kepa kicks it long down the left-hand side, or Ryan I should say, up towards March, and then it's headed away by James for a Brighton throw down the left-hand side. Chelsea have an early chance to move well in front of rivals Spurs after their defeat to Everton yesterday. They're the only the only team in the Big Six that haven't picked up 3 points. Of course, Manchester City and Man United, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, haven't played due to their Europa League and Champions League campaigns. stopping them from playing the opening weekend. But Brighton have a throw down the life right here with March. He plays it on towards Bissouma, who's dribbling down the left-hand side, trying to take on James, who gets there in front of him. He plays it back to Christensen, who passes it out towards Zuma down the right now for Chelsea. He kicks it long looking for Havertz, although Webster did well to intercept the first time. He's been pressured by Loftus-Cheek though, although he's done well Dunk. And now Bissouma, he couldn't get it under control and Christensen intercepts for Chelsea. Here's Marcus Alonso down the left now for the away side. Zuma out towards James down the right. That's the first bit of control possession for Chelsea so far. This is Zuma again. Still Zuma for Chelsea, pings it back out to the right hand side towards James. And then a long ball up towards Werner in behind for the first time. Mount's in the middle. There's the ball towards Mount. It's just gone past him and across the face of goal with the driven cross. I think Werner was just in an offside position, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. And you've got to remember the linesmen keep their flag down if it's a goal scoring opportunity, just like what they do in the Champions League and the Europa League. And Werner was offside there. And he's got a high expectation to live up to, Werner. In 222 Bundesliga appearances, he scored 91 goals and 36 assists, which allowed him his big money move to Chelsea. Of course, his last time playing in London was in a 1-0 win over Spurs last season. And he'll be looking to do the same here for Chelsea. He was the goal scorer in that night. Here's Ryan for Brighton on the ball. Out towards Webster, back to the goalkeeper, Ryan again. We're about 4 minutes into this one now. This is White, who tries to kick it up down the pitch. Zuma intercepts. Brighton trying to pick up the loose ball. They did. And then it was James running out to intercept, but he ended up handballing it. And Brighton get a free kick in the middle of the pitch. Here's Alzate for Brighton as they play it short. Out to the left towards Solly March. And then backwards again towards Webster. Inside the Chelsea half. Here's Alzate. Out towards Webster again. That's a good ball in the middle towards Adam Lallana, who's driving and gets his shot away early, but he skies it over the bar. It was from a long way out for Adam Lallana on his debut, and he was being pressured by N'Golo Kante. And in the end, it was a wild hit over the bar. And if you are enjoying the streams, if this is something you're interested in watching again, make sure to subscribe with notifications on, so you don't miss another one of our streams and you won't miss your team when we decide to stream them. We're now actually 1 subscriber away from 100, which has been our target really for the whole season. So thank you guys for that. Chelsea have the goal kick and they've played it short. It's then kicked long by Zuma, but Bissouma was able to win it back for Brighton, and now they've got it down the left with Solly March. Just by the halfway line. Here's Bissouma again, looking to switch out to the right towards Lamptey. Alonso trying to pressure him. Lamptey took it down well. He's being pressured by Mount now. Good ball from Lamptey towards Lallana. He gets it back, the right back. He's in a central position now. Chelsea eventually win it back, but only as far as Bissouma, who plays a brilliant ball down the left-hand side to Solly March. Brighton have started quite well here. Here's Alzate. They're still in the Chelsea half now, Brighton. Webster, who's quite high up for a centre-back. He's got March to the left. He's taking his time on the ball here. Nutmegs Loftus-Cheek with his pass towards Bissouma. In the centre of the pitch now for Brighton. There's a good ball towards Trossard. Here's now Solly March down the left-hand side. Cutting back inside towards his right foot, but it's N'Golo Kante with the challenge. It then broke for Havertz, who was fouled by Solly March. And Chelsea would get a free kick down the right. But Brighton starting the season and of course the game with an attacking intent. Of course the early shot, which was skied by Lallana, and they've had more of the possession and also possession in the Chelsea half since then. Here's Bissouma, who intercepts a Chelsea pass towards Havertz, and then he was taken down for a Brighton free kick by the halfway line down the right hand side. And then it's taken quickly by White and all the way backwards to goalkeeper Ryan. Here is Dunk. White again. Ryan. As Brighton very comfortable on the ball, which is something that changed when Graham Potter came in to manage last season. It was a complete different style of play to what was under the previous manager, but it's the same finish in the last 2 seasons for Brighton, in 17th place, avoiding relegation, and this has now led them to their 4th consecutive year in the Premier League. This is Alonso now for Chelsea down the left, looking for an overlapping ball towards Werner. He looks offside. The linesman flag hasn't gone up yet. It has now, in fact, and Brighton will get a free kick down the right, deep inside their own half. That's the second time Timo Werner's been caught offside so far in the opening 7.5 minutes here. And it's Ryan who's going to take his time before taking this goal kick. And make sure to put in the live chat what you think of Chelsea this season, where you think they'll finish. A lot of people putting them up there with the likes of Liverpool and Manchester City in terms of being in the title race. Others seeing them as comfortable top 4 qualifiers. And there are some people who think they won't even finish inside the top 4. And think they'll just completely bottle all the new signings and the big money that they have spent. Of course, another player not involved tonight is Thiago Silva. He's not in the side as well. But as we get back to the action, it's a Chelsea throw down the right-hand side in their own half. As we're about 8 minutes into this one. It's thrown out towards James. He plays it back towards Christensen. Looking long down the line. Mount brings it down and plays it towards Werner, who's got a bit of space down the left here for Chelsea now. Overlapping is Alonso, then towards the penalty area, but it was a brilliant interception in the end by Lamperty, who gets it out for a Chelsea throw down the left. Brilliant challenge, because otherwise Alonso was away down the left and had a chance to get a ball into the box for Chelsea. Last time we had a Chelsea game on here at Match Centre Live, it was their away trip to West Ham at the end of last season, a 3-2 win for West Ham. That was a big help for them in terms of keeping them in the Premier League. Here's Kepa Arrizabalaga for Chelsea. Rolls it out towards Zuma down the left. Alonso's further out wide, but Zuma plays it through the middle towards Mason Mount. That's a brilliant ball over the top looking for Havertz. In fact, it's just over hit. But a good idea from Mason Mount, linking up with his new teammate, Havertz. But yeah, it was over hit and Ryan was able to pick it up, the goalkeeper for Brighton. Chelsea, after a slow opening 5 minutes or so, have started to pick it up, started to attack with a bit of intent. They wanted to get it forward as quickly as possible. Of course, a lot of attacking threat in the side now, especially with the new signings, with the likes of Havertz, with the likes of Timo Werner. As it stands, Brighton on the ball in their own half. And then in the end, it's actually Ryan who's able to pick it up again. As we're approaching the 10-minute mark in this one, there's only been one shot so far. That was from Brighton. A bit of a wild hit from well outside the area from Lallana. But apart from that, not much has happened. Brighton have the ball inside their own half. This is White. Out towards Lamperty. And then he finds Dunk in the middle. And then back out towards Webster down the left-hand side. Here is Webster for Brighton. Out towards Dunk again. They're very comfortable with the ball, Brighton. Not much pressure from Chelsea. But in the end, they've looked to hit one long. Zuma intercepted, but Bissouma will pick it up for Brighton again, and he'll play it backwards again towards Dunk. Webster. Out down the left towards Solly March, who of course is playing more as a left wing back rather than a left winger. Here's Dunk looking over the top again. Mopé and Trossard making the run. Christensen looked like he struggled with that for a second. In the end, he let it run for goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga, who picked it up. This is Marcos Alonso. Now Jorginho. Seems like it's his first touch of the game. He plays it to Havertz. Back to Jorginho again. Now it's N'Golo Kante. Out towards the right towards Reece James, who does a 1-2 with Loftus-Cheek and then plays it back to Zuma. Here's Christensen. Zuma again. Alonso down the left now for Chelsea. They did break into the Brighton half, but Alonso passes it back to Zuma, back inside the Chelsea half. Zuma looks to switch the play out to Reece James. He can't control it, and it goes out for a Brighton throw down the left. And for everyone putting in the chat about showing the game, unfortunately we're unable to due to copyright reasons, which is why we're trying to do this commentary for you. But if you have any questions about the game, make sure to put it in the live chat and we will answer as soon as we see them. And Brighton have another throw down the left here. It was Loftus-Cheek who won it back initially, but he passed it straight back out of play. As 11 minutes have gone at the Amex. Last 2 games played at this stadium between the two sides finished in a 1-1 draw. One of those in the Premier League, another in a friendly just a few weeks ago. And of course, that having, I believe, a few thousand in the crowd, a couple of thousand. Something that possibly could go down historically in the future, when we're looking back at how crowds return to football, which hopefully will happen soon. And just as we speak, we're having a few problems with our viewing of the game. We're trying to get it back for you as soon as possible. And we'll let you know as soon as we do. And we have it back now with Chelsea on the ball with Timo Werner, who came deep into his own half to pick it up down the left. He was tripped up by Trossard, and Chelsea will get a free kick by the halfway line. But not many chances so far in this game in the opening 15 minutes, but Chelsea will have a free kick now. And it's going to be taken by Marcus Alonso. And then it's passed back towards Kurt Zouma. Here's Christensen for Chelsea. Jorginho showing an option. Christensen ignores it and in the end is forced to play it back all the way to the goalkeeper, Kepa Arrizabalaga. He looks long now for the away side, looking for Mount down the left. He's putting the pressure on Lamptey, who will get there first. And then kicks it long out for a Chelsea throw down the left. It was good pressure from Mason Mount. And as a result of that, he has won Chelsea a throw down the left, which is taken quickly towards Werner. He's by the corner flag now down the left. His pass is intercepted by Lamptey. And then Lallana with a silent challenge to pick up the pieces for Brighton. In the end, it's gone out for a Chelsea throw down the left. Which is going to be taken by Marcus Alonso again. Jorginho's an option, so's Zouma, but instead it's out towards Havertz. Marcus Alonso. This is Jorginho. Now Havertz. N'Golo Kante trying to pick it up on the edge of the box. And then it's thumped in towards a Brighton player back off N'Golo Kante. And I think it's going to be a Brighton throw now down the right-hand side inside their half. Chelsea slowly moving it further and further forward in towards Brighton territory as they look to start their season with 3 points. Of course, who knows what their ambitions are for the season? Could it just be finishing in the top 4? Or do they want to maybe go for that title? They've certainly spent like they want to be going for the title and reduce the gap between Liverpool and Manchester City. But it's tough away tests like this, which certainly make a difference along the course of a long season. And in terms of a long season, Match Centre Live will try and stream as many games for you. So if you do want to subscribe, if you're interested in what we're doing here, that'll be much appreciated. We've just passed 100 subscribers, which we are very thankful for. And thank you guys for all tuning in. Here's Chelsea on the ball down the left inside the Brighton half. Mount tries to flick it over his head. The Dunk's going to intercept. Here's Basuma. Jorginho won it back, but unfairly according to the referee. There's a little barge in towards Basuma. He's not happy, which is why he kicked the ball away. It did seem like a bit of a soft one to give by the referee, as we're now 17 minutes into this one here. And it's Ryan on the ball for Brighton. Out towards Dunk. This is Webster. Back out towards Dunk again, inside his own penalty area. It's not been bad from Brighton so far. They haven't given Chelsea a shot on goal in the opening 17 or 18 minutes. They haven't really been able to create a chance for themselves either. As Chelsea have the ball back now inside their half with Jorginho, who turns away from Trossard well as Brighton try to press for a second. And Chelsea still on the ball here. With Kurt Zouma inside their own half. It's slowed back, right back down again. Here's Marcus Alonso. And we just want to apologise. Our viewing of the game has just cut out for a second. We're trying to get it sorted for you as quickly as possible. It is back now with Kepa Arrizabalaga trying to kick it long. And in the end, it's Mopé trying to get to the loose ball. And then it was Christensen who was there to hoof it long again. And now it's Mason Mount putting pressure on Lamptey on the loose ball. He gets it towards Loftus-Cheek on the edge of the box. Mason Mount again. trying to whip one into the area. Werner with a little flick on. He might get to the following ball. He didn't, and Ryan claims. But that's, well, half a chance for Chelsea, really. Maybe not even that. But they are moving it forward. They're getting more and more attackive as the game goes on, as we're approaching the 20-minute mark here at the Amex. Ryan places the ball on the floor for Brighton. Pass it out towards Bissouma. He's trying to dribble it out through the middle. That's a good ball down the left towards Solly March. He did brilliantly to keep it in play at full stretch. Although in the end, you can only play it back towards Webster. Here's Lewis Dunk, who was rumoured with a move away from Brighton at some point during the transfer window. This is Lamperty down the left for Brighton inside the Chelsea half. It was a poor pass though, and Jorginho wins it back. Here's N'Golo Conte. Poor pass from him, which didn't give Reece James much of a favour, and then it was in the end Reece James who gave it away. And now it's March down the left for Brighton in the Chelsea half. Looks down the line towards Mopé. And then it was Zuma keeping the pressure on him. Back to March. This is Adam Lallana. And then a good ball in towards March in the penalty area. Shooting opportunity. Instead he cuts it back. And then Loftus-Cheek was there to intercept, and Brighton get a throw by the corner flag down the left-hand side. And now we are past the 20-minute mark. If you've got any questions about the match and what's going on, make sure to put it in the live chat. And we'll get back to you as soon as possible. But for now, a Brighton throw down the left, which is thrown all the way back to Webster, just by the halfway line for Brighton. And then he plays it back to Dunk. Here's Lamperty. Bissouma's showing an option in the middle, and so it goes towards Webster and then all the way back to Ryan. Oh, that's a poor pass. And Werner could be in here for Chelsea. He's gone round the goalkeeper, and then it was Ryan who brought him down, and the referee's going to give a penalty. And Ryan could be in big trouble here. A sloppy pass from the midfielder, Alzate. Gave it away in the middle of the pitch. In fact, just inside the Brighton half. It went straight to Mason Mount, who played a through ball towards Werner. Ryan was off his line quickly. Timo Werner took it around the Brighton goalkeeper, who brought him down. And Chelsea have a penalty. A very poor pass from Alzate. It did look a foul from Ryan, just inside the box. Referee had no doubts to point to the spot. I'm sure if there is any doubt, though, it will, of course, go to VAR. But I don't think they're going to overrule that. And Chelsea will have a big chance now from the penalty spot, if nothing changes. We're just waiting for the final decision. And I don't think Ryan's going to get sent off if it is to be a penalty due to the double trouble rule or whatever it's called. But the penalty has been given as the referee's directing the Brighton goalkeeper back towards his line to be taken. And the big early-ish chance will fall for the away side Chelsea. And it's Jorginho who's going to step up here. A big early moment here at the Amex. Can this new-looking Chelsea side get the opening goal of their Premier League season with an old face, Jorginho? I'm sure he'll do his typical hop, run up, as we're just waiting for the referee's whistle. Jorginho against Ryan, who conceded the penalty. Referee just making sure Ryan's to stay on his line, and now he blows his whistle. And it's Jorginho to step up for the big early moment. Here it is. Hops the keeper, sends him the wrong way. Chelsea take the lead. Jorginho with the opening goal to their campaign. He went left, Ryan went right, and the Jorginho styled run-up works again for Chelsea. And that's the perfect way to start their season. Brilliant penalty from Jorginho, but really was there any doubt when he stepped up to take it? And after what has been a pretty good start from Brighton, they haven't really allowed Chelsea too much, but it was a self-inflicted error by Alzate to give the ball away, but it was clinically taken by Chelsea and by, I think it was Mason Mount who played it through towards Werner. And Chelsea lead by a 1-0 on their opening night to the Premier League season. And we're just getting the screen updated for you. And then we'll be back with the commentary again. So 1-0 to Chelsea as Brighton look for a ball over the top towards March. He'll pick it up here, down the left-hand side inside the Chelsea half. He tries to play it back towards Basuma, but it's intercepted well by Loftus-Cheek. This is James, who's forced to kick it long due to the Brighton pressure. Although it was only as far as Dunk, who picks it up now for Brighton. This is Ryan. Webster. Out towards Lamptey. Mount putting the pressure on him. Overlapping is Trossard here down the right. Chance maybe to get the ball in the box. Instead he cuts back onto his left foot. Lamptey. And then back in towards Trossard in the penalty area. Gets it on the edge of the box towards Adam Lallana. There's a shot which is blocked brilliantly by, I think, N'Golo Conte. And now Chelsea will look to break with Havertz. And Werner's darting through the middle. Flag stays down on Werner. He could be in on goal. Webster's sticking with him. Timo Werner against Webster. Takes on his right foot round the outside. And in the end it was blocked by Dunk brilliantly. And Brighton get away with one. And now they can dribble it out. But it's starting to get a bit more end-to-end. Here's Elzate. Lamperty down the right for Brighton. And then back towards Basuma, and it looks like the home side want to slow things down again. Solly March now down the left for Brighton. And this is Webster. Dunk. Werner trying to put pressure on him, and he plays it back to Webster. Just by the halfway line. This is Elzate. Good ball towards Basuma. Now Lallana back towards Basuma. He looks down the right towards Lamperty. Chance to get the ball in. There goes the ball. It's a brilliant ball. And then the header from, I believe, Mopé. He didn't get a good connection with it. And in the end, it was Kepa to claim it. But a good chance for Brighton. That's the best chance they've had so far today. A brilliant move to get it down the right towards Lamperty. And then a brilliant ball towards Trossard. But he couldn't get the header right. Almost like a FIFA header there from Trossard. Here's Brighton on the ball again. A long ball towards Solly March. He's going to chase us here against Christensen. He'll get there. It's actually Trossard now on the ball for Brighton. Down the left. And another poor pass towards Basuma. And everyone's playing poor passes towards Basuma at the moment for Brighton. And Chelsea look to kick it away. And Dunk picks it up. This is Ryan. Now it's with White. Down the right is Lamperty. Back towards Trossard again, who cuts back. Lamperty. This is Trossard for Brighton. They're working it around well, but they can't really get any move away. And in the end, it's passed all the way back towards Trossard. And our coverage of the game is just cut out. It will be back in about 20 seconds, but it'll be back from just where we left off. So we'll let you know when we are back with the stream. But for now, if you've got any questions about the game and what's happening and the stream itself, make sure to put it in the live chat. And if you are enjoying the stream, to leave a like, that would be much appreciated from us at Match Centre Live. And if you're interested in seeing more commentary streams like this, we try to make it as interactive as possible with you guys watching across the 2021 season. Make sure to subscribe with notifications on. We'll try and get as many teams in there as possible for streams in the future. But Brighton have the ball here. We're back to where we left off with Basuma. This is Lamperty down the right. He's going to try and get a ball in again. Although this one, it was blocked by the first man. And then Chelsea in the end play it back towards Kepa Arrizabalaga. We're 25 minutes into this one. And not long ago, Jorginho with a penalty which gave Chelsea the lead. It was Timo Werner on his debut who won it. It was a mistake from Brighton in the first place to give the ball away. But it was clinical from the away side. And more importantly, from the away side's new looked attack with Havertz and Werner within that front three alongside Mason Mount. And Loftus-Cheek is actually down here for Chelsea. I think he's gone off the pitch. He's changing his socks. I don't know if it's some sort of injury which has made him do that. Or just some problem with the kit. But yeah, he's changing his socks. He's putting his shin pads and boots back on. But we're playing on here with 26 minutes on the clock with a long ball forward from Kepa. Werner wins the header on towards Mount down the left. Basuma stayed down for Brighton. Or is it Lamperty? Lamperty's stayed down for Brighton. The referee's just stopped the play because of any potential head injury. So Brighton, who really didn't start too badly, they had the first shot of the game. They haven't actually had an effort on target. Chelsea haven't also had an effort on target apart from the penalty from Jorginho, but they won't mind because they're They are a goal up. And we're just letting you know what's going on as Lampety's still on the floor and the medic's just come on to help him out. And he's slowly getting back up to his feet, and it just gives all the players a minute or so just to get a drink of water. And it's been a good, intense game, I'd say, so far. Both teams happy to keep the ball for as long as possible, including Brighton, who've really tried to give this game a go, and they were doing a fantastic job about it until the penalty was conceded. And then it was a brilliant penalty from Jorginho, who sent Ryan the wrong way. He went left, Ryan went right. And as we're 27 minutes into this one, we're just waiting now for the game to continue. It's just taking its time here, and it just gives me one last chance to say before the game continues. If you are enjoying the streams and you think you might be interested in watching more in the future, make sure to subscribe and notifications off. We've passed our goal of 100 subscribers, which I thank you all so much for. But we're back on the way anyway with the game now, and it's Chelsea on the ball with Christensen. Brighton have actually had more of the ball in this game. They've had 56% of the possession, and they've won it back here with Solly March. Although in the end he runs it out of play thanks to the pressure from N'Golo Kante. And Chelsea will get a throw down the right hand side. 28 minutes into this one now. Here's N'Golo Kante. James trying to play it back to N'Golo Kante. Intercepted by March. Back out for a Chelsea throw again. We're just taking a view on our screen of Graham Potter, the Brighton manager, who's done a lot so far at Brighton in his first season. He's changed the style of play completely and managed to keep them up, which I guess is still the overall target for Brighton. If there's any Brighton fans watching, let us know what you want from this season in the live chat. But as it stands, Brighton have a throw down the right hand side in their own half with Lamperty. As we are approaching the half an hour mark in this game. And there was actually a little incident off the ball as the throw was about to be taken. A little trip up from Kurt Zouma on Mope, who's rolling around on the floor. It seemed completely accidental. We had a perfect view of it. Zouma, he just tripped him up. He put his hand up in the air straight away to apologise. Yeah, it was Mope who was trying to run away from Zouma. He was just running towards Mope. And in the end, he got his studs on the back of Mope's ankle. So it looked a painful one. So you understand why Mope's rolling around the area, but it was completely accidental from Kurt Zouma. And that will mean more stoppages, which has been a fair few of in the first half. First the penalty in the 23rd minute. Then the injury towards Lamperty, which was a head injury. Now the one on the back of the left ankle from Mope, which has left him on the ground and left him to get a bit of treatment. And I do want to thank you all whilst I have a chance to, while it's back out of play again. Already in just half an hour of streaming, this is already our most successful stream we've ever done here on Match Centre Live, as we look to grow our channel to make it more interactive for people who are unable to watch the games. So thank you all for clicking on and for staying and listening, and I hope you are enjoying it. But we are still waiting for the game to get underway. 1-0 to Chelsea as it stands. It's been fairly even though so far, although I say even because there hasn't been many chances for both sides. Mope is back on his feet now for Brighton, and we're ready to take the throw. Of course, he's had to go off the pitch. And it's Lamptey out down the right wing to take the throw. And it's throwing back towards Dunk. Back to Lamperty again. He plays it all the way back to White. And then White's going to look long here for Brighton. Up towards Trossard, who would chase it against Zouma, who had to deal with it and get it out for a Brighton throw down the right. A lot further up the pitch now. And Brighton, I'm not sure if it's their thing that they do. It's certainly in a position to do one of those long throws, which we are actually starting to see more of these days, although it's actually thrown short from Lamperty. And then a good nutmeg from Lamperty past Alonso. And then it was Jorginho with a challenge on Lamperty, and then it came off Jorginho. And I'm just waiting to see if it's going to be a corner or a goal kick. It was a beautiful nutmeg on his first touch, Lamperty there, to take it through the legs of Marcus Alonso. But Jorginho was there to cover. I think it might have just come off Lamperty, and I think it's going to be a goal kick. We're just waiting to see. But Lamperty's been a bit of a bright spark here for Brighton so far. In fact, I can confirm that the last touch was off Jorginho. And for the first time in this game, it's going to be a corner to Chelsea. 3 in the middle. Dunk, Webster are 2 of those. In it goes. It's a flat ball towards the back post, and I'm not sure if Kepa got a touch on it. I don't think he did, and I think the referee's pointed for a goal kick. It was a flat, driven ball all the way across the goal from that corner. Kepa came out to try and punch it, completely missed the ball, but there was no one there at the back post to head it in for Brighton to an empty net. And you could say Kepa's got away with one there. But as he slowly picks up the ball, ready for his goal kick. And there's 2 Brighton players just on the edge of the box there. So they're not letting Chelsea play it short out the back. So Kepa plays it long towards Werner. And then Havertz picks it up now for Chelsea. Here's Alonso out towards Loftus-Cheek. His first touch let him down, and Lamperty picks it up. Plays it back towards Dunk. And then all the way back to keeper Ryan. Here's Webster. He looks long. Down the line towards Trossard. He's not going to get to it. Neither will any Brighton or Chelsea player. Goes out for a throw down the left towards Chelsea. And this game's starting to get very stop-start, especially with throw-ins. There'll be another one here for Chelsea, and it's thrown long by Alonso towards Mason Mount. And he's trying to break away and play it forward towards Timo Werner. Dunk's going to get there first to intercept and plays it back towards Ryan. And then his ball out towards Webster, down the left. He chips one forward towards Adam Lallana, who takes it down. Then back towards Bissouma. This is the first bit of real possession for Brighton in a while, as they play it out to the right-hand side towards Lamperty, inside the Chelsea half now. Here's Bissouma. Out towards White. Trossard. Lamperty. That's a good ball towards Adam Lallana, who's trying to run in field. Trossard. And then he skips away here. It might be a shooting opportunity. It is. It's a brilliant shot and a good save by Kepa Arrizabalaga. Comes out towards Solly March, who has a shot on goal. Blocked by Reece James. Solly March was claimed for a handball, but it didn't look like anything from what I've seen. But that's a good chance for Brighton. Brilliant run from the middle of the pitch from Adam Lallana, and then he got a shot away. Across goal. Good save from Kepa Arrizabalaga. Brighton have the ball now, but this time inside their own half, as Alzate plays it back towards Webster. This is March, as he looks for a ball in behind towards Mope. His touch let him down, but in the end it came off Christensen for another Brighton corner. This time it is down the left-hand side. And the first one seemed pretty close. Kepa tried to claim the first corner, but completely missed it. What will happen from this one now for Brighton from the other side? 35 minutes into this one. 10 minutes till half-time. There will be a bit of stoppage time due to the Lamperty head injury and the Mope challenge. This one's going to be an in-swinger towards the edge of the box towards Bissouma, who's going to volley one, but he completely mishit it. And then Loftus-Cheek heads it away, but not very far. This is White. He's forced to play it back, though, for Brighton towards Lamperty. Now Bissouma. Lamperty overlapping down the right, although Kante got a very good foot in there, and then plays it back to Alonso. He looks down the line towards Loftus-Cheek. No team's able to get it under control, and now Brighton have won it back with Trossard, and this is Lallana, and there's a good break on here. Brilliant ball down the left towards Mope in the area. He can't quite get it out of his feet, and in the end it's Christensen to win it back. And then Mope wins it back again for Brighton. They can't keep it for long, and it breaks for Alonso, who will clear it out down the left. Here's Webster. Now Dunk for Brighton. This is White. Good ball in towards Adam Lallana. Still Lallana. Now Kante picks it up. Loftus-Cheek. Came off Adam Lallana. Here's Mope. Solly March down the left-hand side. He's tackled by Havertz, doing his defensive duties now, the new signing. And I think, well, it's gone out for a throw. And I would assume it will be a Brighton throw. With just under 9 minutes until half-time. Chelsea do lead from the penalty which was converted well by Jorginho. It was Timo Werner on his debut who won it. That's the only chance Chelsea have had. Brighton have had 2 or 3 chances in these opening 36 minutes, and they've got a throw here down the left, which is thrown to Trossard. He gets it back now, and here's Bissouma on the edge of the box. Brilliant tackle from Timo Werner, because Bissouma had a good chance to shoot on the edge of the box. Here's Alonso, who it breaks out to, and then he's fouled by Bissouma, who was trying to track back. And Chelsea get a free kick inside their own half down the left-hand side. 37 minutes gone now here at the Amex. And it's been a good game this, it's been fairly even considering the gap between the levels of the two sides. Here's Jorginho. He looks to ping one forward, but it was to absolutely no one, and Ryan will pick it up for Brighton. He throws it out down the left towards Solly March. Back to Webster. Still Webster. Only 3 attempts from Chelsea. The one on target was from the penalty. Brighton have only also had 1 attempt on target, but they've had 7 attempts in total. And they are on the ball at the moment with Webster. Trossard, who's been run into. And it's Havertz who picks it up on the edge of the box. Bissouma trying to put a challenge in. Havertz keeps it. Down the right is Reece James. He gets his ball in, but Ryan is able to catch it and claim it for Brighton. And he's going to take his time with this. Brighton still having more of the possession in this game. They've had 60% of it now. This is Dunk. Now Bissouma. Lamptey. Then kicked long by Bissouma, but only as far as Alonso, who couldn't quite get his touch right. Otherwise Chelsea would have had the ball back. And in the end the ball does go out of play, and Chelsea are going to have it because they're going to have a throw down the left-hand side inside the Brighton half. As we are approaching the 40-minute mark, Chelsea a goal up. But it's been an even game, so they'll be very grateful with the 1-0 lead. They were 1-0 up at this stage in the fixture last season at the Amex. In the end, that finished a 1-1 draw. So did the friendly between these two sides just a few weeks ago. Webster's picked it up for Brighton and plays it down the left to Solly March. Havertz putting the pressure on him. He's forced to cut back and play it back towards Ryan, who kicks it long on his weaker side. Up towards Mopé, who can't win the header. Reece James does win it. That's a brilliant flick by the Brighton man up towards Mopé. Christensen won the header. It's bounced towards Solly March down the left for Brighton, but it's only in his own half. This is Bissouma for Brighton. Oh, it was almost a heavy touch which let Werner in. And in the end he passes it out towards White, and now Lamptey down the right. Chelsea starting to press a lot more, and Brighton, they nearly gave the ball away there. Although Azate was able to pick it up, and then it's back to White again. Ryan being pressured by Werner. He's still stubborn enough to play it out on the back despite the Chelsea pressure. In the end it does go long, and Zuma intercepts Brighton and get a throw down the right inside their own half. And it's Lamptey who will take the throw again. Thrown out towards Bissouma. Back to Lamptey again. A little Ronaldo chop, and then he'll swivel turn away from the Chelsea players. In the end he was tackled, but only out for a Brighton throw again. And will be this man Lamptey to take it again. And then his throw was intercepted straight away by Alonso, but out for another throw, but further forward this time. But then it's thrown back again towards Bissouma, and he plays it all the way back to Webster. Switching out towards White down the left. And Havertz putting the pressure on, almost won it back for Chelsea, but March was there to cover. He plays it back to Dunk, who lets it go towards goalkeeper Ryan, who's running towards his own goal, still running towards his own goal. In the end, chips it down the right hand side towards Lamptey, who's not going to get that, and Chelsea will get a throw down the left. But the more Chelsea have started to press, particularly in the last 5 minutes, the more mistakes Brighton are actually looking to make on the ball. Specifically almost with Ryan there. Here's Jorginho, good ball out towards Havertz, or a good idea, but it wasn't well executed, and Brighton pick it up with Solly March, and then Havertz was trying to stretch for the ball, ended up fouling the Brighton man, and they'll have a chance to slow things down with a free kick, which is taken short to Webster. Now Lamptey, his pass came off Alonso, but only as far as Bissouma. That's a brilliant ball to switch it out down the left-hand side to March. They're inside the Chelsea half here, Brighton. Solly March skips away from Havertz. Chance to get a ball in maybe. He does, but it comes straight off Reece James and back out again. As far as Webster. This is Solly March down the left again. Trying to look for Alzate through the middle. It was intercepted by Loftus-Cheek. And now Chelsea look to pass their way out. Here's N'Golo Kante. Good ball up towards Havertz. He looks for Loftus-Cheek. Chelsea have a brilliant break on here. It's actually 2v1. Loftus-Cheek has Werner ahead of him. But it was Dunk with a brilliant interception because Chelsea, and more importantly Timo Werner, would have been in on goal with a shooting opportunity against Ryan. But in the end, it was Loftus-Cheek. He just passed it straight into Dunk. Werner was to his left. He couldn't quite find the gap. And Dunk, in the end, did enough for Brighton. Because 2-0, and it would have been a completely different story going into the second half, which is just 3 minutes plus stoppage time away. Brighton have the ball here with Solly March. Now Alzate. Out towards Mope, intercepted by Reece James, and then he plays it all the way back to goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga. Here's Kurt Zouma. Now Marcus Alonso. He's running down the left-hand side, still inside his own half though. And for the first time in this game, it looks like Chelsea are happy to keep the ball and slow things down, as they seem happy with this 1-0 lead, which they currently have with 2 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Although Kante plays it forward towards Loftus-Cheek, who cuts straight back and plays it back to Reece James. He switches it across towards Alonso. They're now inside the Brighton half, although there's another stoppage. I think it's Alzate on the floor. Or actually no, it's Adam Lallana who's just stuck down there. I'm not sure what's actually happened. The referee stopped the play. And he's completely flat out now, Lallana. And I'm not sure what's happened. He doesn't look in ridiculous pain, but he did just collapse to the floor there. And one of the medics has come on to give him some treatment and just having a conversation with him. And I think it's Connolly who's warming up for Brighton. That might be the first enforced substitution. New signing Lallana, who has been injury prone in the past. He is down now. I think he's holding his left leg. And he's taking all his tape and all his bandages off. And it looks like he will be coming off, which is a big shame for Brighton. Their big move of the summer has only been able to last 44 minutes on the opening day of the Premier League season for both these sides. And this will add to what was already seeming to be a lengthy bit of stoppage time at the end of this first half. And he's back on his feet now, so he's going to be able to walk off, but I think the substitution is, in fact, it's almost certainly going to have to be made. So it's Adam Lallana off, and it's going to be Connolly on for Brighton. As we are about 20 seconds away from the half-time whistle. Oh, sorry, from the 45th minute to see how much stoppage time there is. But here is the first substitution. Of course, first of 3 substitutions now allowed for both sides, as a vote came back 13-1 of people who were against the 5 substitution rule. We're about to see how much time's been added on. It's 4 minutes at the end of this first half as Chelsea have the ball and we're back underway, and it's Kepa Arrizabalaga who kicks it long down the field up towards Loftus-Cheek. Dunk won the header, and then it was Basuma for Brighton able to win it up towards Solly March. He looks to Mope down the line, though Christensen was there to clear it away, and Brighton get a throw down the left-hand side. It's thrown all the way back towards Webster. Bear in mind the throw was by the halfway line. Now it's all the way back to the goalkeeper Ryan. Here is Webster. Basuma's to his right. He plays it to Basuma, the short pass. He looks forward towards Connolly, of course, has just come on the pitch here for Brighton. Connolly looking to switch it out down the left. It's a brilliant ball from him towards Solly March. He's going to take on Havertz here. Cuts inside on his right foot. Here's Basuma on the edge of the box for Brighton. Back down the right-hand side towards Lamptey. And then he looks to bend the ball in, headed away by Reece James. It will come out to Havertz, who's been pressurised by March. He plays it back towards James, who clears it long for Chelsea. And then it's Webster who's going to pick it up for Brighton and play it towards Dunk. And then all the way down the right towards White. As we're a minute and a half into the 4 minutes added on at the end of the first half. There's another ball down the right towards Lamperty. He's going to try and take on Alonso for pace, and he's beaten him here. Lamperty gets his ball into the box, although it's cleared away by N'Golo Conte, who was there to cover. And then Mount's able to keep it on the pitch before it goes out for a throw, and Chelsea have possession with Mason Mount now. He's going to try and run down the left wing. Plays it towards Werner ahead of him. Down the left, he's going to take on White here. Running towards the penalty area. Cuts on the outside, gets a ball in with his left foot, and in the end he actually forced a save despite it being across from Ryan. He then tipped it behind for what's going to be the first Chelsea corner. It's going to be down the left-hand side. We're halfway through the 4 minutes added on at the end of the first half. First Chelsea corner to come. Down the left-hand side. Werner, who won it, he also won the penalty in the 23rd minute, which was converted by Jorginho. That being the only goal of the game and of the first half. And it's Reece James out on the opposite side to take this corner. In it goes with the in-swinger. Headed away at the near post. And then it's Jorginho trying to win the following header. Comes out for Mount with a volley. Might drop towards Havertz. In fact, it drops to James down the left. He gets a low-driven ball across the goal. And then it's cleared away by Dunk for a Chelsea throw down the left. As Chelsea look to get some late pressure on Brighton to try and double their lead here. Although Alonso's going to slow things down with just now a minute left of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Chelsea haven't been completely at their best so far today. But they'll be happy with a 1-0 lead if they can keep it before half-time. I think Brighton have just won a free kick. I think after the throw, pass was flicked on towards Werner, who was offside. It's now the third time he's been caught offside, Timo Werner. But he's looked a threat so far in this first half. But it's Brighton on the ball now with 30 seconds of the first half to go. With Solly March down the left. Bissouma back towards Webster, and now goalkeeper Ryan. Here's White, down the right. Lamperty, further out wide. He's got Connolly overlapping. Good ball towards Connolly, although Zuma's going to try and hold him out. He does shield Connolly and lets it run out for a goal kick. And with 10 seconds to go on the first half, that should be the last action of it. The 4 minutes of added time are now up, and the referee's whistle has gone. So that's the end of the first half here at the Amex. It was a penalty won by Werner. Brighton gave the ball away very poorly after was a good, bright start from the home side. But it was Werner who was in behind. He was tripped up by goalkeeper Ryan, and there was the penalty given. Jorginho then converted. Apart from that, it's been Brighton with the majority of the chances. They've made a few saves out of Kepa Arrizabalaga. But the half-time score here at the Amex, it's Brighton 0, Chelsea 1. Don't go anywhere because we'll be back for the second half. Hello and welcome back to Match Centre Live. Thank you for staying throughout the half-time period. And we are back for the second half in about a minute's time. So far the score 1-0 thanks to a Jorginho penalty. That was won by Timo Werner. Around the 23rd minute. But apart from that, Brighton, you'd say, have maybe just about been the better side in this one, as the teams are now coming back out for the second half. And I want to thank you all for staying throughout half-time and for clicking on the stream in the first place. We're trying to make a more social and interactive way of watching football or listening to football if you're unable to watch it on TV. Which is why we asked you if you've got any questions about the game, any predictions for both these sides, or any questions about the stream or the channel, to put it in the live chat. And if you do enjoy the stream, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss another. We've got loads coming in the new 2021 campaign, which I can't wait for it to get going, and I can't wait for the second half to get going, which it just has done now, with Chelsea on the ball and with Marcos Alonso, who plays it straight back to Zuma. This is Christensen, and he'll get it back from Jorginho. Chelsea actually had less of the ball than Brighton in that first half, but it's them who have the lead. Brighton also had a few more of the chances. Chelsea looked to create an early chance with a ball over the top by Alonso. It comes straight back to him. He'll look over the top again, looking for Loftus-Cheek, intercepted by Webster down the left for Brighton, and his pass further out wide to Solly March was completely mishit, and it goes out for a Chelsea throw down the right-hand side. If you're interested in any of the other scores from this opening match day of the Premier League season, they're all going around on the bottom of your screen. As Brighton have the ball here with Solly March running down the left wing. James staying with him, so too Loftus-Cheek. Solly March has beaten James. He's running towards the penalty area, and then he gets his ball in towards Mopé. It came off him, it more deflected off him rather than a shot. Hit the side netting and out for a Chelsea goal kick. But there's an early chance for Brighton, which of course I've been saying they've had more of in that first half. Brilliant work from March, who ended up making James fall over as he was running past him down that left wing. Got a ball in towards Mopé, but it was a very powerful strike, really towards the face of Mopé, and it deflected off him rather than being a clean header or hit off him. There's the long ball from Chelsea, which is won by Loftus-Cheek, but only as far as Lamptey. He plays it back to Ryan. He'll go and get it back, Lamptey, here down the right. Further ahead of them is Connolly, but he can't pick it up. And here's Loftus-Cheek for Chelsea on the edge of the box. And then his pass is deflected off of Trossard, and it goes into the hands of Ryan. And then now it's thrown out towards Solly March. He looks for the overlapping run here of Mopé. Christensen staying tight to him along with Reece James. Mopé did well to keep it in play, and in the end he's won a throw for Brighton. Down the left-hand side towards the penalty area. So we're now 47 minutes into this one. Chelsea with the 1-0 lead. But Brighton want to get an equaliser as soon as possible by the looks of things. Going out with an attacking intent, which is what they did most of the first half, to be honest. Here's a good turn by Alzate. Gets it in towards Connolly, who gets a shot away. Might come towards the edge of the box. It does to Lamptey. He's far out wide. He's facing away from goal and he's forced to play it back to White. He looks for a ball over the top towards Mopé. Zuma wins the header though. And it breaks for Alonso, who will clear it long. And then Duncan's going to pick up the loose ball. He's been pressured by Timo Werner. And it's passed out towards Webster. Here's Dunk now for Brighton. And this was what the majority of the play was in that first half. Possession between the Brighton back three of Dunk, White and Webster. And here is Webster for Brighton. Looking for a long pass across the pitch towards Lamptey, who controlled it well with his chest. He's now going to try and drive forward at Marcos Alonso and Mason Mount. And he gets through the middle of both of them. Gets a shot away, came off Zuna and behind for a Brighton corner. But that was brilliant again from Lamptey, who's had a superb game. He had two Chelsea players on him, Marcos Alonso and Mason Mount. He went right through the middle of them with skill and, more importantly, pace. Went inside the penalty area. It was more of a cross-come shot, and it went straight into Zuma, who's actually stayed down. And out for the corner to be taken from Brighton. But a really good start to the second half by the home side as they look for an equaliser. If they are to get one, then it will be the third time in this fixture at the Amex that it would be 1-1. Of course, these two sides played a few weeks ago. And Zuma's still down here for Chelsea, and it looks like he's been hit in what I'll certainly say the most painful area, as he was there to block Lamptey's effort on goal. And that will just mean for an early stoppage in the second half, which there's actually been a lot of in the first half, which led to 4 minutes at a time. But we're almost ready to take this corner now. It's going to be an in-swinger. There's a lot of people surrounding Kepa Arrizabalaga in the middle. There goes the ball from Connolly. Zuma wins the header though. Out towards Trossard. Brighton still trying to keep it. Havertz trying to win the loose ball for Chelsea. But Brighton have kept it well here. Here's Alzate. Plays it down the right hand side. And in the end, it was well covered or well shielded by Marcus Alonso to let it go out of play for a Chelsea throw down the left. Brilliant from the Chelsea left back. Here's Jorginho. Loftus-Cheek. Back to Jorginho by the corner flag. Being put under a lot of pressure. In the end forced to clear it out. But not very far. Here's Mope for Brighton. Now Basuma. Back out towards Mope, although he gave the ball away. Conte intercepted and Chelsea will look to break here. And it's Havertz running forwards for the away side. Basuma trying to stay with him. Here's Werner down the left. Now Loftus-Cheek for Chelsea. Here's N'Golo Kante. And then forced to play it back now, Chelsea, all the way back to Christensen. Down the right hand side is Reece James. We're 5 minutes into this second half now. Here's Christensen. Zuma. Marcus Alonso. Out towards Havertz down the left hand side. Havertz trying to flick one over the top towards Werner. Dunk intercepts and then Basuma picks up the loose ball. And this here is Connolly. Now Alzate. Now it's moved over to the left hand side for Brighton with Solly March. Back towards Connolly. Looking to switch the play again towards Lamptey. He's done really well down that right hand side for Brighton, both attacking and defensively. And he'll get it back from Connolly. He's won it back off of Alonso, who took too long on the ball, although N'Golo Kante then stole it off of Brighton again. And Chelsea look to break down the left hand side with the ball towards Mason Mount, but Dunk is there to cover and he plays it back to his goalkeeper Ryan. He plays it out to Webster down the left and then back to the goalkeeper Ryan again. This is White. Basuma for Brighton. Inside their own half. Slowing things down again. Keeping the ball again. Dunk for Brighton. Now Webster. He looks down the line towards the run of Connolly. Who might just get there. No, he doesn't. Because in the end, it was Kepa Arrizabalaga who sprinted off his line to claim the loose ball. He then rolls it out towards Christensen. Now Reece James down at the right back position. Looking for Jorginho, a little chip ball out towards Havertz. They're still in their own half, Chelsea. As Havertz looks to dribble it out. Ooh, and then tries to switch the play out towards Marcus Alonso down the left. It's gone way behind him and out for a Brighton throw down the right. And Chelsea will hope they get a lot more out of their big money signing than a pass like that. And I think even on match day one, that will go into one of the funny moments of the campaign. Here's Lamptey, trying to find Alzate. But then in the end, Loftus-Cheek was there to intercept. Came back off Alzate and out for a Chelsea throw down the left-hand side. Now 52 minutes into this one. And it's going to be Alonso to take the throw. And it goes down the line towards Mason Mount. He was then tackled by Dunk, who was quite far forward for a centre-back position, and out for another throw to Chelsea. 53 minutes gone. Alonso looks down the line. Mount trying to win the header. In the end, it might break for Basuma here for Brighton. It does. This is Trossard now, inside the Chelsea half. He's down the right-hand side. Further out wide is Connolly. Here's Lamptey. Now Basuma. There's not a lot of space through the middle, and Basuma in the end is tackled. Although not for long, as Alzate is able to win it back for Brighton and quickly plays it out the left towards Solly March. He looks for the overlap by Trossard. March again. Alzate. Here's Basuma in the middle, on the edge of the box, trying to run towards the penalty area. Little slip from Havertz might allow the Brighton man a bit of space. In the end, he plays it down the right-hand side towards Lamberty, who's running in towards the area. Plays it back out towards Connolly, who gets a shot away, and it's a brilliant strike, and it's a Brighton equaliser. What a goal from Brighton. They're level here against Chelsea. And as I've been saying the whole time, the last two fixtures here at the Amex between the two sides have been 1-1. And at the moment, it's heading for that 10 minutes into the second half, because it's a brilliant strike, a cross goal. It was actually Trossard with the effort. A good ball from Lamberty towards the edge of the box as he was running into the box, out to Trossard, and a brilliant effort dipping in towards the far bottom corner. And Brighton are level 10 minutes into the second half here. And that's something, well, I guess deserved with the way the home side have started the second half and played throughout the first half. But you thought with Chelsea's quality that maybe if Brighton want to take their chances, Chelsea might bite at them. But they've taken a chance here, and it's 1-1 at the Amex. Trossard with the goal in the 54th minute. And we're just going to get the screen updated for you at 1-1. As Chelsea look to move it quickly now down the right with Reece James as we're back underway. Here's Zuma. Chelsea keeping the ball, which gives us a chance to just fill in the goal scorers. Chelsea still have it round the back. And there is the screen updated for you, including, of course, all the scores earlier on this season. Sorry, not this season, this match day. Here's a chance for Chelsea on the edge of the box, and it's an absolute screamer. It's Reece James. And I was giving so much praise for the other goal from Brighton, but this one is a screamer from the edge of the box, near post by Reece James. It flew into the top corner, and Chelsea are straight back ahead here. What a strike from Reece James. And just as we update the screen for you, there is a belter. It was passed to him by, I believe, Werner. One touch to take it away from his body. He's down the right-hand side. He shoots it into the top right corner. It swerved away from Matt Ryan. What a strike from the fullback. And Chelsea are back in front here. It did not take long, a minute or two perhaps. And it's the fullback with an absolute screamer to give Chelsea the lead again. 2-1 the score now at the Amex. And my stats saying it's been 1-1 the last two times this fixture's been played. Well, it's not going to be that this time as Chelsea take a 2-1 lead now. That was an absolutely incredible goal by Reece James. And Chelsea are back in front no sooner than they were drawn back level from a strike from Trossard. And we're now going to update the screen for you again. It's one of the best goals we've seen since starting Match Centre Live. As Brighton now look to hit back straight away again. A ball out towards Mopé down the left. And it was Christensen with a touch. I'm not sure who it came off last. We'll update you on that though. And so we're almost finished updating the screen for you. And there it is, 2-1 to Chelsea. What a strike from Reece James just before the hour mark. And I don't think it will be quite up there with goal of the season, but it won't be too far off it. Brilliant strike, and it was a Chelsea goal kick in the end, which is long by Kepa Arrizabalaga. Basuma picks it up though for Brighton. He looks for the ball over the top towards Mopé, but it was intercepted. Basuma then won the loose ball. He was then caught by Mason Mount. And free kick for Brighton just in front of the halfway line. But I still can't get over that goal and how quickly it came after the Brighton equaliser. Trossard's goal looked incredible when he put it in a cross goal into the bottom corner, but that one was hammered into the top corner by the Chelsea fullback. And they're back in front here, and Brighton are going to have to build again, but they're going to try to here with El Zate. Plays it down the right-hand side towards Reece James. Towards Lamberty. There's a ball in from Webster. Towards the back post. It was a free header at the back post, but it's wide from Dunk. And that was a huge chance for Brighton to get level again. What a brilliant ball in from Webster. Across towards the back post. So much swerve on it for such a deep cross in. And a free header at the back post. He just had to get a good contact there, dunk, to beat Kepa Arrizabalaga. But in the end, he beat the post, and it stays at 2-1 to Chelsea. But what a turn of events we've had here in the last 5 or 10 minutes. But that could have been 2-2, and Chelsea need to wake up again, because Brighton have still been the better side in this one, despite it being 2-1 to Chelsea. And now Kepa Arrizabalaga kicks along again from the goal kick, which is something he didn't do in that first half. I think Loftus-Cheek, as he tried to take it down, handballed it. So Brighton have a free kick just in front of the halfway line. As we are approaching the hour mark now here at the Amex. 2-1 to Chelsea. 2 goals in quick succession. 1 for Brighton, 1 for Chelsea. 2 brilliant goals have turned this game alight in the second half. As Brighton, we're going to have another free kick, which is played out towards Alzate. This is Bissouma. He chips one in, and then in the end it's gone over everyone, and Havertz was shielded out of play for a Chelsea goal kick. That set piece didn't work quite as well as the last one, which presented a brilliant opportunity to dunk. And Chelsea are about to make their first substitution in a minute or so, with Ross Barkley coming on, as Frank Lampard is having a few final words with him. He's all stripped up in his kit, in the white Chelsea away kit. Of course, Brighton in their new unique home kit, which has had a lot of different opinions on it. We're just waiting for this Chelsea substitution. It's Loftus-Cheek who's going to come off, and Ross Barkley to come on. And I will be reading from the live chat as soon as I see any messages, any questions about the game, about the stream, or about the channel. Please put it in the live chat. If you've got any predictions or anything about the season for either of these sides, make sure to put it in, and we'll respond as soon as we see them. But Brighton have the ball here down the right hand side, although Chelsea have stolen it straight back. Here's Barkley, good first touch to get it out to Havertz. Now Mount down the left hand side, cuts back onto his right foot. Still Mason Mount, Bissouma with a challenge. It's bubbling around the box. In the end it comes out to Webster, who will clear it long. And then his ball, or attempted ball in behind, was intercepted straight away. Here's Havertz. And I'm just sorry about my footage of the stream. It just cut out for a second there, but it will be back in a few seconds. And it is back with Chelsea on the ball as it's played back towards Kepa Arrizabalaga. And he stops the ball, and there's not much pressure from Brighton. He's taking his time, the Chelsea goalkeeper. And he goes long again, which is the theme of the second half for Chelsea. But they're unable to win the ball. Brighton do win it, and it's back to their goalkeeper now, Ryan. Here's White. Out towards Bissouma. He's had a good game for Brighton. He chips it out towards Solly March down the left-hand side. This is now Webster on the ball. Switching it out towards the right, although Alonso was able to intercept, and it breaks kindly now for Mason Mount, who's going to drive it forward now for Chelsea. Here's Ross Barkley, and then back to Alonso by the halfway line down the left-hand side for Chelsea. Barkley again. This is Jorginho. Now Mount, all the way back to Zuma. Christensen. Reece James. Reece James again now for Chelsea. Christensen. Chelsea happy to have the ball inside their own half. Switches it out down the left towards Marcus Alonso. Into Barkley. Inside the Brighton half. Still Ross Barkley. Now Kante. Down the right is Havertz. Reece James overlapping. Good chance to get a ball in. Cuts it back to Werner, who tried to flick it goalwards. It was a clever bit of improvisation from the striker. It came straight off of Dunk though. And it's cleared away for a Chelsea throw down the left. So 2-1 the score. It was a Jorginho penalty who opened the scoring in the first half. 2 quick goals in the second half have made it 2-1 to Chelsea in the 63rd minute now. Ball's bobbing around inside the area for Chelsea. Comes out Havertz for a shooting opportunity. Completely mishit it there. And in the end, I think it's going to go out for a throw down the left-hand side. So in the 64th minute now. As we're just looking back at the Trossard goal. That was a brilliant strike, but it looks almost like a terrible strike thanks to the Reece James strike, which was hammered into the top corner near post. No chance for Ryan. That was an absolutely brilliant goal. But Brighton here on the ball with Havertz. And in the end it deflects behind for a throw just by the halfway line. Our viewing of the game is just cutting out a little bit. But we will have it back for you as soon as we can. If you just give us a couple of seconds. I apologise for this slight technical difficulty, but in a few seconds it will be all back. And it is back in the 65th minute now at the Amex. I apologise for that. Here's N'Golo Kante on the ball. Plays it down the left towards Jorginho. Now it's Havertz on the edge of the box. Maybe a shooting opportunity. Out to James. Chance to get the ball in. Deflects behind off of Solly March for a corner to Chelsea. And it's going to be Reece James who scored that brilliant goal in the 56th minute. Now to take the corner in the 65th. And therefore it's going to be an out swinger. As we're well past the hour mark. 25 minutes to go now. Here at the Amex. And it's going to be James to take the corner. There goes the out swinger. It's in towards Zuma. It takes a deflection and it's in towards the back of the net. And it's Kurt Zuma with the goal. A hefty deflection, I believe, off of Webster. Took it past Matt Ryan. And Chelsea now double their lead. They're 2 goals up now here at the Amex. And they're in control. Well, from the out swinger, from a centre-back to control a volley like that, Kurt Zuma. But he has so much space just inside the box to get his volley away. And it did come off Webster. No chance for Ryan as he was wrong-footed there. And it's now 3-1 to Chelsea. And we're just going to update the score and everything for you as the game gets back underway at 3-1. And maybe now it is too much for Brighton, who have played well today. But maybe it's just not to be. As the quality of Chelsea has taken over in the end. And it's 3-1 with just over 20 minutes to go. And a goal in the 66th minute from Kurt Zuma. And we'll be back to commentate the game once we've updated the score and everything for you, which we'll have done in a second. If you've got any comments or questions about the game or about the channel, make sure to put it in the live chat and we'll respond as soon as we can. But Chelsea are on the attack again here with Alonso. It came off of Lamperty, who's going to try and chase the loose ball to prevent it from going behind for a corner, but he's given it away instead to Mason Mount. Just over 20 minutes to go. Reece James, Mason Mount, Marcus Alonso now down the left. Havertz. And then play back out towards Christensen. This is Reece James. Down the right, but further out wide is now Havertz. Reece James again. And back to Christensen. Zuma. And then back out the left towards Marcus Alonso. Here's Ross Barkley in the middle for Chelsea. Tries to turn away from Basuma, who wins it back. Brighton might have an attack on here as Mopé plays it down the right towards, I believe, Trossard. He looks to get the ball in towards Connolly, and it was a brilliant challenge from Christensen. And then Zuma's going to keep it in play to stop it from going behind for a corner. Christensen's actually stayed down now. He's back up on his feet, in fact, as the ball's played out to Jorginho. And now out to the left for Alonso. Although it's given straight back away from Chelsea, and it's Trossard down the right-hand side again for Brighton. Good ball into Mopé, but a brilliant challenge from N'Golo Kante. And then the Chelsea players leaving it for Kepa Arrizabalaga to pick up the loose ball. Just under 20 minutes of normal time to go here at the Amex, and it's going to need a big 20 minutes, a big performance in the last knockings for Brighton to get anything out of this game. They would feel they deserved more, but in the end the quality of Chelsea has taken over and they look to attack again with Barkley. His pass is intercepted though. And now it's Solly March down the left for Brighton looking to drive it down the line. Connolly's overlapping. March cuts back instead though. Looks to switch the play out towards Lamperty. There's a good ball towards Alzate. His pass intercepted though, but he'll pick it straight back up and look to take it round Marcus Alonso. But in the end, Marcus Alonso was able to read him and win it back for Chelsea. And then his clearance came back off Alzate. Jorginho picking it up by the goal line. Back to Alonso. He clears it long now. Dunk wins the header. Here's Basuma. Down the right for Brighton inside the Chelsea half. Trying to dribble it forward. His pass is intercepted. Alonso picks it up and now it's Mason Mount for Chelsea. In towards Havertz. And then out towards Reece James down the right. Christensen. Havertz. Zuma. Now Alonso. Chelsea have had more possession in the second half, unlike the first half. But overall, across the 72 minutes, Brighton have had slightly more of the ball. But it's the scoreline that matters, and that's 3-1 to Chelsea. And unless there's a big change in the last 18 minutes, Chelsea were going back to London with 3 points. Here's Alonso. Out down the left towards Mason Mount. He tries to cut inside. Lamperty with a good challenge. He's running it to the goal line, clears it away. Good ball, in fact, out towards Trossard down the right. He looks for Mope, facing towards his own goal. And then Zuma, in the end, put a bit too much pressure on him and gives the free kick away. And Brighton will get a free kick inside their own half down the right-hand side. And it's passed back to Ryan. Now Dunk. This is Webster. Now Dunk. Webster again. Solly March. Webster. Oh, and his pass almost intercepted by Werner, but Ryan was there to pick up the loose ball. As Brighton are starting to switch off because that was a poor ball by Ryan and it's chipped out towards Mason Mount, who took it down well considering the pressure from Lamperty. Here's Barkley. Mason Mount. Havertz. His touch let him down and Solly March might break away here for Brighton down the left. Connolly trying to make a run through the middle. March still going down the left-hand side. He's got past Havertz in the end, who was able to recover brilliantly for Chelsea. Fantastic defensive work from the new signing. And Chelsea had the ball back now with N'Golo Kante, and they look to slow it down with Ross Barkley. And now Marcus Alonso down the left inside their own half. Here's Havertz. Marcus Alonso. Ross Barkley back to Alonso again. Zuma. And now Kepa Arrizabalaga. This here is Christensen. And then his long ball forward is intercepted. Basuma picks it up. Alzate with a good touch. He let it run for Basuma. But there was a little foul off of Alzate once he released it. And Brighton get a free kick just inside the Chelsea half, which they've taken short and taken quick. And it's passed down the right-hand side here towards Lamptey, who takes on Mount down the left. He beat Mason Mount, but not Marcus Alonso, who clears it out for a throw-in down the right for Brighton. As we're now 15 minutes away from the final whistle here. And Brighton are about to make a change, or a double change. I think one of the players coming on is Gross. Although I will let you know once the change happens. Here's Solly March, who takes on Havertz, beats Havertz. Chance to get the ball into the box, trying to loop it towards the back post. Important header won by Christensen. Now it's Lamperty. Trying to turn away from Mason Mount. He's by the corner flag. Tries to nutmeg Mason Mount, who read it, but it couldn't prevent it going out for a Brighton throw down the right-hand side. Here's Lamperty. Running away from goal, being pressured by the Chelsea players. That's a good ball, though, from Basuma towards Dunk. Now Webster. Good ball down the left-hand side towards Solly March. He's going to try and take on Reece James. In fact, he cuts back and plays it back to Webster. That's a good ball in the middle towards Connolly. Back out to March again down the left-hand side. Although March in the end ends the move by giving the ball away towards Christensen. And that's a good bit of play from Chelsea as Kante plays it towards Timo Werner, who takes on Dunk. He's running away from Dunk here. Running towards goal in the middle of the pitch, towards the penalty area. Plays it down the right. Timo Werner with a shooting chance. Deflected off of, I believe, Dunk. And behind for a Chelsea corner. With 14 minutes to go. Brilliant run forward. I think it was by Werner. Or maybe it was by Mason Mount. And then it was Werner's shot in the end, which was deflected well by the number 3 for Brighton, out for a corner. And I'm not sure if those substitutions have happened yet for Brighton. I'm just going to keep an eye out on that. And no, it hasn't. White was actually on the floor after making the challenge. It was him who, in fact, blocked the Timo Werner shot. He's back on his feet with a bit of a limp, though. Chelsea have a corner, and with just under 15 minutes to go, they scored their third goal from a corner from this side, an outswinger from Reece James. This one another outswinger, but this time it was Lamperty who was there to win the header. And March is trying to chase the loose ball, but N'Golo Kante was there first and plays it out towards Reece James. He swings the ball in. It came off of Alzate and into the hands of Ryan, who's just going to take his time there. As, he probably knows it's very unlikely Brighton are to get back into this one with just under 15 minutes left to go. Although there's a good ball from Solly March looking for Mope. He's not going to get there. It's overrun. And then Kepa Arrizabalaga was there to pick it up. Here's Reece James. Gets it back from Mason Mount. Reece James again. Christensen now. Zuma for Chelsea. Marcus Alonso. Back towards Jorginho. He plays it in towards, I believe, Barkley, who was tripped up by Basuma, and Chelsea get a free kick just inside their own half. And Gross did come on for Brighton in place of Alzate just a couple of minutes ago. In fact, no, the substitution is happening now. My apologies. So Gross for Brighton is coming on in replace of Alzate. And then Yakinbash, who scored the equaliser last season in this fixture, is coming on for White, which means there's probably going to be a change of formation for Brighton, bringing on another attacker in replace of one of their 3 centre-backs, as they look to try and get now 2 goals needed in what is just over 10 minutes left of normal time in this game. Chelsea have still only made one of the substitutions, which was Barkley, who came on for Loftus-Cheek. And the game is starting to die down a bit in these last 10 minutes or so, unless Brighton are to get one in the next 5 minutes or so. But it's Chelsea on the ball now with Reece James, and then in towards Havertz. Reece James again inside their own half. Havertz trying to nutmeg Yakinbash, who's just come on. Came off Yakinbash out for a throw. As we are now in the 80th minute, and Chelsea are going to in fact make another change, and it's going to be Hudson-Odoi to come on in replace of Havertz, who doesn't complete his Chelsea debut. Overall, he's played okay. The big money signing, there was a couple of very, very poor incidents, probably just a bit of rustiness from Havertz. One of them was trying to switch the play and completely missing it and smashing it out of play. Here's a chance for Brighton on the edge of the box, Connolly trying to get a shot away, and it was caught by Kepa Arrizabalaga. A rather tame effort in the end, as we pass now the 80th minute mark, meaning 10 minutes to go in this one. Plus stoppage time, of course. As Kepa Arrizabalaga drops the ball and now kicks it long down the left towards Mount. He can't win the header. It was Lamperty who did win it. Although it's picked up now by Timo Werner, and then it was a really, really strong challenge by Lamperty on him. A poor challenge, a side tackle from the side. And that is going to be the first yellow card of the night. It's taken 80 minutes, and it's for what I would say is Brighton's star man of the night, Lamperty, who's been played brilliantly at right wing back, but he's now going to go into the book and be the first player this evening to do so. And Chelsea have taken the free kick and it's gone out towards Zuma. Now Alonso. And then his pass is deflected off of a Brighton man out for a throw down the left for Chelsea. It's thrown out towards Jorginho, who's done really well to get past two players, trying to flick a ball over the top towards Werner. Dunk's there to intercept. Plays it back to Ryan, who's put under pressure. He plays it out short to Webster. Back out to Dunk, and now Lamperty. He gets away from Mason Mount, but he's forced to turn back. And it's gone all the way back to Ryan. Brighton still happy to pass it around the back. Here's Webster. Now Solly March. Back to Webster again. They're not really going anywhere, the home side now. This is Ryan. Still the Brighton goalkeeper on the ball. Here's Dunk. Good ball out towards Yakinbash down the right. He's still driving forward. Goal, it was almost a good ball into Connolly. A good idea, well intercepted by Kurt Zouma, who picks it up now for Chelsea and tries to play Timo Werner in. It was Basum who won it back from Werner. And now a good ball down the right-hand side towards Trossard, who looks to whip one in. It's gone over everyone, and Alonso headed it away just to be sure. And in the end, it's cleared away by Alonso. Someone's down for Brighton. I think it's Basuma. It looked like cramp for a second the way he's gone back down, but now he's got straight back up and received the ball. Connolly with a ball towards the left-hand side towards Trossard. Good wide position this for Brighton. Oh, and in the end, March was trying to overlap. He smashed it into Solly March. Deflected off him, out for a goal kick for Chelsea. And Kepa Arrizabalaga, with just under 8 minutes to go now here, is going to take his time with this one. The one score that isn't there at the bottom of your screen or hasn't been updated for you correctly is the Wolves Sheffield United game. The final score in that one was 2-0 to Wolves. I apologise for that. And we will update that now on the bottom of your screen. Wolves beat Sheffield United 2-0. Of course, a lot of people seeing them as top 6, maybe top 4 contenders. A lot of people seeing Chelsea as possible title contenders. The performance hasn't quite been there tonight. It's taken a lucky deflected goal, a penalty which was completely self-inflicted by Brighton, but an absolute screamer from Reece James, which has given them their 3 goals. There was a very good goal from Brighton, which did equalise the game at 1-1 in the 55th minute. And Jorginho is down here for Chelsea, which is why it's given me a chance to recap the game. A couple of medics have come on as he's back up on his feet and walking back off the pitch. It looked like a bit of cramp for the Chelsea man. And that's why it says here Azpilicueta is in his kit, ready to warm up. And that will be the final change for Chelsea. And I'm almost certain it will be Jorginho to come off. But he's played well for Chelsea tonight. Been the heart of that midfield, both defensively and attackingly. It may have been him that played that ball through towards Werner in the opening exchanges, which won Chelsea the penalty. And of course it was him who opened the scoring with that penalty. With his usual run-up, sending Ryan the wrong way. He went left, Ryan went right. And it is him to come off and Azpilicueta to come on for the final substitution for Chelsea and the final substitution of the game. And it's going to be a Chelsea goal kick here with 5 minutes of normal time to go. Kepa Arrizabalaga is going to play it long just as he has done the whole way through this second half. Here's Basuma trying to win the loose ball. It was bobbling around. Kante does pick it up and plays it towards Marcos Alonso, looking to chip it towards Werner, who will pick it up down the left-hand side. Good little nutmeg by Timo Werner, although he wasn't able to keep it in play. And now it's going to be a Brighton throw down the right-hand side. Here's Basuma. Now Dunk. Out towards Solly March, down the left-hand side. Oh, it was almost a loose pass from Solly March. Put Dunk under pressure. And in the end, Dunk smashes it forward and it's going to go all the way out for a Chelsea goal kick again. As things are already starting to slow down in this game now. As, there is still 5 minutes plus maybe a bit of stoppage time. But at the moment, it doesn't look like Brighton are going to get into this one. Anything can happen, but there hasn't been a Brighton chance for a while. In the end, it was Brighton who had most of the chances in the first half and the beginning of the second half. But since Chelsea scored those 2 goals to make it 3-1, Brighton have very much been out of the equation. There's a long ball again from Kepa Arrizabalaga from the goal kick. It actually resulted in a free kick for Brighton as there was a shove from Werner on Dunk. And Brighton have a free kick in their own half. And this is Webster. Now Dunk, Solly March in his own half. Dunk again. And with 4 minutes to go, I just want to say if you have enjoyed the stream and you want to see a few more of these live commentaries, which we will be doing, make sure to subscribe and notifications on so you don't miss when your team is next on Match Centre Live. Thank you all for watching and for joining us today. We've gained a lot of subscribers so far, which we really appreciate. We've passed the 100 subscriber mark, which we thank you for very much. Chelsea have the ball here with Timo Werner. It was Kante who played it out to him. He was fouled, but Chelsea play on here with Alonso. Down the left towards Mason Mount. And then back to Kante again, who's back on his feet. Here's Alonso down the left. Good ball in towards Kante, overlapping further down the left. He's driving towards the penalty area. Cuts inside. And then in the end opts to play it backwards. It's gone out towards the right to Hudson-Odoi. Azpilicueta overlapping. Here he is. Cuts one back. Took a deflection. Comes out to Hudson-Odoi on the edge of the box. He's taking his time on the ball. Waiting for Azpilicueta to get back onside. He is onside now. Down the right. 1-2 with Hudson-Odoi. Now Kante through the middle for Chelsea. 3 minutes to go in this one. Zuma. Out down the left is Marcus Alonso. Now Ross Barkley. Who's running backwards towards his own goal. Oh, he's given it away in fact. Towards Connolly. He looks for a ball in behind towards Mope, but it was well intercepted by Christensen. An important interception. Chelsea almost switched off there completely. They've got to make sure not to drop off and not to give Brighton any hope of getting back into this one. Maybe they might try to finish it off once and for all as Hudson-Odoi tries to switch it out to Mason Mount. He took it down brilliantly down that left-hand side. Now Ross Barkley. Passes it back to Alonso. N'Golo Kante through the centre. Mason Mount. Werner. Kante. Switches it out down the right towards Hudson-Odoi. Now it's Reece James. And then all the way back to Christensen. Back in their own half now, Chelsea. Kurt Zuma. And then a poor pass from the centre-back as he looked for Alonso down the left. But he rolled it straight out of play for a Brighton throw just inside their own half down the right-hand side. Just over a minute left of normal time here at the Amex. 3-1 to Chelsea, the score. They've been in control of this game since the 66th minute where Zuma did make it 3-1. Although it's Brighton on the ball now with Webster. Plays it in between the lines. In the end, it's broken down the right towards Lamptey. It was a good challenge on him by Marcus Alonso. And it's a throw-in to Brighton by the halfway line here. And it's thrown all the way backwards to Webster again, as Brighton almost seem to have given up here with a minute to go. It's going to be difficult, of course, being 2 goals down. But they've put in a good effort today, the home side, although they've just lost it out here with Basuma. Now Hudson-Odoi plays it towards Ross Barkley, running towards goal. Kante overlapping down the left. Here's N'Golo Kante, swings on into the back post and then brilliantly cleared away by a Brighton defender. I believe it was Webster. He was then fouled by the incoming Mason Mount trying to get on the end of the cross. And Brighton get a free kick inside their own penalty area. But there's been 2 sort of approaches from Chelsea since it being 3-1 in the last sort of 15 minutes. They've been happy to keep the ball, but they've also wanted to get these attacks as much as possible. It's a weird one. Brighton on the ball here with Connolly. Oh, he tried to play it down the left for Solly March. It was overhit and Chelsea will get a free kick. A throw-on down the right-hand side. I'm just getting tired, just like both the Chelsea and Brighton players. And all that's left now is 4 minutes of added time. As Chelsea will look to see this one through for their first 3 points of the season. They've scored 3 goals in order to get to that. And Brighton's superb equaliser won't mean much in the end to this one, as they're most likely now to fall to defeat on the opening day. And what do you think if you put it in the live chat of Chelsea this season? Possible title contenders, just top 4, or maybe not even that? Put it in the live chat as the last sort of question. Here's Lamperty. Plays it in towards Jahanbash. Now Dunk, who's very high up inside the Chelsea half. Here's March down the left-hand side. It's Hudson-Odoi who's sticking with him. That's a good ball towards Mope. He tried to play it back to Trossard. It's intercepted by Chelsea and Barkley tries to break away with it. And in the end it breaks here towards Timo Werner down the left-hand side. In the end he decides to pass it back as opposed to look forward for the running Mason Mount off the ball. And Chelsea will now keep the ball as we're over a minute into the 4 minutes added on now. As it's passed back to Kurt Zouma. He kicks it long towards Mason Mount who won the header. But only as far as Gross. Now March down the left. Gets a 1-2 with Connolly. Basuma now. Now Lamperty down the right. Further out wide is Jahanbash. He'll look to get a cross in. It came off Alonso and then Kante will pick it up inside his own penalty area. And Alonso's going to look over the top with his clearance. It took a deflection off a Brighton player. But Webster was able to keep it on. And now it's Basuma who takes it down. And then volleys it all the way back to the goalkeeper Ryan. And that's one sign of Brighton completely giving up with now 2 minutes to go. Gross. Now Basuma. Inside the Chelsea half again, Brighton. Switches it out the left towards Trossard, who might not be able to get to it. He won't. And in the end, it goes back out for a goal kick. And Carlos thinks Chelsea will come second, I believe. So, certainly reducing the gap between Liverpool and Manchester City, but not quite the whole gap. As either Liverpool or City, I would assume we would think, were to finish above Chelsea. But I guess the real problem for Chelsea is getting a bunch of these new signings, these top-class new signings, don't get me wrong, but still a lot of new signings just to gel together. A lot of teams do have that sort of problem. In the past, in fact, Everton have had that problem, not with signings as high level as these Chelsea ones. Spurs in the 13-14 season, with the Bale money, spent a lot of that money on, I believe, 7 players. Only one of them really turned out successful, that was Christian Eriksen. But I guess a lot of these players are a lot more proven, likes of Thiago Silva. Certainly Chilwell in the Premier League. Havertz in the Bundesliga along with Timo Werner, who scored 91 goals in the German top division. Here's Lamperty for Brighton, trying to run it down the right-hand side. Trying to flick it back to Jahanbash, but it's intercepted by N'Golo Kante. 30 seconds left of this one now as N'Golo Kante looks to break it out for Chelsea. There's a ball out towards Werner down the left. One last drive towards the Brighton goal perhaps with 20 seconds to go. Passes it to Ross Barkley. He's going to take a shot and then in the end Ryan was able to read it and catch. Not a bad effort from Barkley. Got a good clean strike of the ball there, but it just wasn't quite enough power and it wasn't in any way in the corner. Just like that Reece James goal was, which was a superb effort. I still can't get over it. But in the end, there goes the final whistle and Chelsea get off to the perfect start to their new campaign. An exciting campaign for all those Chelsea fans. Brighton, for them, it's the first defeat of the Premier League season on the opening night. But they put a good effort in. At points, they were the better side, especially in the first half. But it was an early penalty, self-inflicted penalty, which gave Chelsea the lead. And in the end, they were in control despite a Brighton equaliser. But thank you everyone who's tuned in and stayed for the whole 90 minutes. I really appreciate that. This has been our most successful stream on Match Centre Live as we've passed 100 subscribers, which I thank you all for. And make sure you do subscribe if you haven't with notifications on, because we'll have many streams for you across the 2021 Premier League campaign. But thank you very much for watching. That's the end of the stream. Final score at the Amex. Brighton 1, Chelsea 3.